By the end of this episode, the listener will understand that emotional fitness means your language, noticing what's happening inside, regulating under pressure, and responding consciously in alignment with values rather than conditioning. You will feel orientated to the show's tone and safety, learn the host's why, and leave with one simple self check practice you can repeat daily. So let's get into it. If you've ever said, I know what to do, or I just can't do it when it matters, this show's for you.
Because insight isn't the same as capacity, and pressure is where your patterns show up.
So, welcome to the Emotional Fitness Gym podcast. I'm Brent Lindsay,
And I'm Valerie Andrews.
and this is a grounded, real world conversation space for people who want to live, lead, and relate with more presence, more clarity, and more integrity in the moments that usually hijack them.
This podcast is for leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, health professionals, and growth driven humans. People who hold a lot, people who care, and people who are done white knuckling their way through their inner world.
The show promises, in one sentence, moving people from reactive survival to self led performance, deeper connection, and purpose aligned life through emotional fitness training.
And right at the start, we want to say this clearly and gently. This is education and coaching conversation. It's not therapy. If anything feels heavy for you, pause, take care of yourself, and consider reaching out to a qualified professional or trusted support.
That matters to us. We're here to strengthen you, not stir you up for entertainment. We'll go deep, but won't push. We'll keep it practical. We'll keep it human.
And you hear that in the way we speak. We're peers, we're equal presence. We interrupt each other kindly, we slow down, we soften, and we challenge, and we come back to what's useful.
So, the first episode is an orientation of who we are, why we're here, and what emotional fitness means in our language. And you get that from listening.
And we'll end with a simple practice. 60 to 120 seconds is all it takes. Something you can actually do in real life because the point is training, not just understanding.
So, Valerie, let's properly introduce you. Who are you in this space?
Well, thanks, Brent. I'm an energetic alignment mentor for health professionals. I work with people who give deeply, they care relentlessly, and they hold others together. And then at some point, they realize they've lost themselves inside the role.
Hmm.
They're competent, they're responsible, they're often respected, but their nervous system has taken over and is either running hot or flat. And there's less joy, less aliveness, and less inner truth. My work is helping them reconnect with their energy, their identity, and self trust so they can keep serving without self abandonment.
Wow, that's so needed in this world. So,
Mhm.
if someone's listening and they're like, oh my God, that's me, what does it feel like from the inside?
It feels like you're always on, you're running about, you you think you've got to go and do all the fixing. It's always like you're scanning everyone or anticipating and managing what's going on. And even when you're resting, you're not really resting. You're recovering from being on all the time.
Mm, that hit. And what what makes this so personal for you?
Well, for me, I live the capable on the outside, the disconnected on the inside life.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was, really good at functioning, but not good at allowing presence. So I knew how to perform, I knew how to cope, I knew how to do the right things, and I didn't know how to come home to myself under all the pressure. Because there's a moment where I realized I'm doing everything, like I said, I'm meant to do, and I'm not okay. Not in a dramatic way, just in a quiet way, in a numb way, in a way where life is happening and I wasn't fully in it.
Wow. And then what?
Then I began to question everything. I
Yeah.
I didn't know how to be emotionally fit. I didn't understand the concept. I was, a little bit in the coaching space, the personal development, but it wasn't until the emotional fitness formula came about that's when I knew I needed something more. So I just couldn't think myself way through it anymore. And the answer was capacity. So my
Mm.
nervous system was at capacity, emotional capacity, and the ability to feel and stay present was where I needed to be, and the ability to return.
Yeah, return. That is emotional fitness, not just insight, not just I understand why I'm in my own way. It's the ability to return to yourself when you've pulled off center. That it just so resonates.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so easy to go off center if we're not conscious of that as well, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I
And
mean,
it,
like I help high performing leaders move from performance to presence. So ambition matures into meaning, its success becomes legacy, but like it's all about coming back to center. Uh,
yeah, exactly, Brent. And can you make that real? Can you explain a little bit more about that? Because, that can sound a bit like a slogan if
yeah,
someone's never heard it before.
yeah, good one. Well, it is the slogan. Us coaches always trying to
Yeah.
find out that slogan that will help people understand. And in that, we have to explain it, right? But totally,
Yeah.
look, in real life, as a leader who can have a hard conversation without becoming sharp or collapsing, it's a leader who can hold standards without fear based control, or a leader who can be accountable and still be human. It's someone who can build outcomes and protect relationships at the same time, not by being perfect, but being regulated and enough in that space to sort of choose the right or calm away.
I really love what you just said there. It's not about being perfect. And why does all of this matter to you?
Well, because I've seen this happen when performance becomes identity with myself and with the leaders that I lead. But when it happened to me, it changes everything. And we have then that journey to have to rebuild. So when your worth gets welded to your results, to being needed, to be being impressive, to being the one who always holds it together, the one that can't break. That's when things start to crack. People don't fall apart because they're weak. They fall apart because they've built their whole nervous system around holding, and eventually holding becomes the prison.
Wow. That's such a clear line. Holding becomes the prison. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and the cost shows up everywhere, and our relationships become thin. Health gets traded for productivity. People become emotionally unavailable while still being successful, and they
Mm.
wonder why it feels empty.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the show Public Gym,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, right? That's what I get so excited about because it is a gym, a place to train the inner muscles that actually hold life together. And for all the listeners, that means every episode will pop in a little practical repetition, a little exercise for them to take on their journey in their life to become more emotionally fit, not just another bit of theory.
Yeah, and that's so important. And the gym metaphor matters, right? Because it's kind. Training is kind. It
Yeah.
doesn't shame you for having patterns. It doesn't label you as broken. It's okay. This is where you're strong and this is where you're undertrained. And let's work together to build that muscle, because it's a skill, right?
Yeah, I like how you put that as kind. Training is kind because self-love, right? It's the ability to take care of self, which I think a lot of leaders and mums and parents and people in positions, we forget about ourselves a little bit. And that's why we need to get to the work on self, which takes us into why this matters now, why this podcast like this, and why me and Valerie, and why now.
Yeah. And I guess the biggest why is because modern life's fast, it's loud, and we get caught up in the distraction, the constant distractions around us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can hear the cats in the cradle, and the silver spoon. I've felt that and lived that, from success and ambition, and then you step back and go, "Wow, like what happened?" And having emotional fitness and being able to stop in those moments to live in life is what it's all about. Because I'm so loud, and that pressure is constant. The pace of information, the pace of expectation, the pace of responsibility. Oh my god, I need a break already just thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's true. Life speeds up, and when it speeds up, the nervous system doesn't magically keep up, right? People
Mm,
start living from urgency, that survival mode, that threat response, and it's from autopilot. And funnily enough, with the three brains, it begins from that survival
yeah.
mechanism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Here's what I see. People think that solution is more information, right?
yeah, or more productivity, right?
Yeah, or more discipline, and those what can help for a season helps now, but often what's missing is, let's go back to it, capacity.
Wow. This
Yeah.
word capacity is essential. You know, imagine having the capacity to feel, capacity
Mm.
to pause, and the capacity to stay present
Mm.
when it would be easier just to react or avoid. Like we, we're human, right?
Yeah, like, look, let's be honest, we're all avoiding. So let's
but
define emotional fitness, right? In our language.
yeah,
Emotional fitness is the ability to notice what's happening on the inside. It's to regulate emotions under pressure and respond consciously in alignment with values rather than conditioning.
yeah. And we want to make that word notice usable, right? So, notice means I can sense what's happening in my body and my inner world, not later, but now. I
Mm,
can name it without judging it.
that's huge. Huge for everyone. And then regulate means I can slow down just enough to
Mm.
choose. And for neurodivergent people like me, that's huge. It's massive. It's the space. That choosing space is what changes everything. And it's not just to erase the emotion, it's not to become numb, but to hold the emotion without being driven by it. I wish this for everyone.
Yeah. And also to respond consciously. I mean, this means I choose behavior that matches my values, not my
Mm,
old survival strategies.
yeah.
And that comes from autopilot to self leadership.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's a common misunderstanding, and not only like that response, as I don't think we have even a much awareness of why we do things or that response. And as we have conversations with this all the time, Valerie, and about when you become more aware, then a lot of stuff happens, but you become that space to be able to stop it and find the positive. The common misunderstanding, I believe, is emotional fitness means being calm all the time,
Yeah.
which okay, let's start there. Let's make it hard for ourselves. Start with
Not at all. Or
the
being positive, right?
yeah, never getting triggered. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not human at all, right?
Well, maybe. If you have a neuro disease that has no emotion. Anyway, but we are emotional human beings, and we know emotion is bad. We have just been conditioned around this falseness around humans and emotion, especially in business. Oh, that's another
Mm.
episode.
Yeah. So the reframe,
Yeah,
what's the
the reframe is
what's the
simple.
reframe?
Emotional fitness means you can be human and still be responsible. That's huge. And you can feel big emotions and still choose the next right step.
And you can repair, right? That's
That's
a huge part of
huge.
maturity. If you react, you notice it sooner,
Mm.
you recover sooner, you repair cleaner, and then you learn, right?
Yeah, right. Like, so what listeners will get from this show is a training space. Frameworks, yes, but used to create freedom, not rigidity, used to build choice, not labels.
Yeah. And we'll also talk about modern leadership and relationships in a way that
Mm.
doesn't pretend you're a robot. You'll hear us talk about the nervous system, about identity, the gym repetitions and the reflection questions around behavior patterns, values, and much more.
Yeah, like it's so much good stuff. Like we're probably more excited than you, but like if you hang around, you probably get excited like us. Like what else is there apart from human excellence? So you could be the best version of yourself to give to other people, right? That's what it's all about for me. So let's explain the structure of each episode. There's a basic structure. It's a consistent. You'll hear a cold open, a bit of a welcome, and why this matters. That's what you got to listen to see where it is for you. And then the main framework will teach a little real life example from me and Valerie, or our experiences from all the coaching and the human behavior that we've learned. And a bit of a gym rep, and that's the what you can take from the reflection of the conversation and practice in your real life to become more emotionally fit. And then also we've got all these amazing, beautiful, intelligent. I'm just so grateful that I'm acknowledged to know these people lining to come up. These are beautiful people that help people, coaches, consultants, mentors, practitioners, HR leaders, all these people that want to see the best outcome for people and create a conversation around what is emotional fitness to them, how that relates to them world, so they can give you a little bit of a tip and a how to of about more about emotional fitness and human behavior so you can enjoy your becoming.
And that itself is exciting, having other people come on this podcast to talk about their own experiences and their own definitions of emotional fitness and how they use it in their work as well. That's important to understand it because we'll all do it's a similar concept, but we'll all do things differently.
Yeah.
So, inside this framework, we also do something very deliberate, and that's every major idea comes with a full breakdown what it is, why it matters, and how it shows up in real life. So,
Mm.
we also name the most common misunderstanding. We can offer a reframe and give you one micro action to practice because you don't need more concepts. You just need to know what to do with the concept. So it's not about chasing big dramatic breakthroughs. It's about doing the action,
Yeah,
really.
exactly. Exactly. I love that. And I'm hoping that the listeners go, oh my God, this is great. Hey, let's talk about this so we can create even more depth or find even more leaders to be able to bring insights for that. So please like and let us know exactly what this is all about. For episode 1, our main framework is teaching the inner gym idea. The emotional fitness is built through the little reps, the small practices done consistently.
Yeah, yeah. And like I just said, it's not about the big breakthrough moments, it's the tiny ones repeated over and over again.
Yeah, I like, let's just pause and think about that. And we all had those oh my God moments. And if you're into this human behavior and human development space, which is probably why you listen to this, I believe we're like chasing the dragon a little bit. Like I remember the first breakthrough, map it's not the territory or cause versus effect, and those big significant moments where we go, oh my God, look at me. and
Yeah.
you see it very clearly, the gap. And that's what this is about. The exercise, the little rep, is just noticing the gap and moving a little bit closer to it. It's not the, oh my God, look, I'm famous, and et cetera, et cetera. It's the small little bits that make all the difference. So
100%.
yeah, yeah. So I guess self-awareness, let's talk about the five principles. I know that you want to ask me that one, and to get right into it. So I'll just jump in. So like self-awareness,
Mhm.
self-responsibility, a
Yep.
self-regulation, which is really the fundamental, self-expression without projection, which is what we all
Mm.
need to focus on, and
Yep.
self-alignment with values integrity, which is really the last part, but the foundation that holds it all together.
Yeah. So for the listeners out there, let's translate it into normal language, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, you keep reminding me on that one. So self-awareness is I can name what's happening within me.
Yep. And self-responsibility is I own my part without blame.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm.
Self-regulation is I can slow down enough to choose.
Yep. And self-expression without projection is I can communicate cleanly without dumping my emotion onto you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for everyone that I've done that to. And
Oh, me too.
whoa, and that's
Hand
another one
on
of
heart.
those, yeah, like those moments of wow, I was a real dick. So I'm very sorry for that. If you're still listening. Like, so self-alignment is my behavior matches my values even when it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to underline something. People confuse self responsibility with self blame,
Mm.
especially high performers. They hear responsibility and then they punish themselves if something hasn't gone the way they want it to.
Yeah, I hear that. That's for me for sure. But the responsibility is power, right? It's not
Mhm.
shame. It's not everything is my fault. It's more I have agency here. It's the opposite of helplessness. And then that frame changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And that frame also includes boundaries, right? So
Absolutely.
responsibility includes truth and it also, includes naming the impact. And it's okay to say no. We don't always have to say yes, and it's clean, not compliant as well.
Look, 100%. I mean, look, I'll segue here to a little bit of my passion that comes from my experience that makes me feel like, oh my God, I'm in the right place in the right time. And then, what this is all about, as well as the psychosocial legislation that's coming into Australia. They're from the 5th of December in 2025. It's legislation, and the world now needs to catch up. I even wrote a bit of an article on LinkedIn talking about the fear that would be is now manifesting in leaders that are now realizing in that moment we talked before, oh my God, I was wrong. And what Valerie just said there in that space is what will help us move through by giving people space. They don't have to necessarily do it. What is feeling unsafe? What is a healthy
Mm,
culture? It's all about a also a part of what this emotional fitness gym is all about. To talk to, open up, and discuss.
yeah. So that moment is the gym, right? it's, it's where the emotional fitness comes in handy to understand what is going on,
Yeah,
right?
that moment of space. Exactly right. That emotional fitness is not like what you do in a calm, it's what you do in the surge. That when you're just raging and you want to
So take
reply, but you know that in that space you can
yeah,
choose.
yeah. So take us into that. At that moment, what does that mean to you? What does notice
Mm.
actually mean? What you're noticing within? What does that mean?
Well, big question. It took me ages to accept this
Mm,
as something to be changed instead of the truth. Um, and that was like my chest was tight, my jaw is clenched, my thoughts are going a million miles an hour. I want to fire off messages, act, respond. I feel disrespected, and you're burning.
mm,
Mm.
yeah. And if you could notice that, you're already winning, right? because most people skip that step and go straight to the reaction. And I've been there 1,000 times before. However, it's now about being conscious of that, stopping, pausing, and understanding further.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
what's the common misunderstanding about all this?
If I don't express intensely, they won't take me seriously.
And how can we reframe that?
Intensity isn't leadership. Clarity is. I can address performance without leaking it to a threat, a threat into the relationship. I can
Yeah,
communicate calmly without trying to assert my authority.
yeah, yeah. And I see it as having a healthy relationship with ourselves. So, hence the emotional fitness coming into that. So, under under the intensity, what do you think's there most of the time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I need reliability, safety, trust, competence. It's running all your rules.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
So the micro action is not to be nicer, it's name the need and speak the behavior. Is that how you'd say it?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that was actually perfect. So I pause, take two slow breaths, name the need, because the need is the cap. It's coming from everything else, but that's what our need hasn't been met, or so we're getting affected by that because that's survival. So I need relatability, then speak to the behavior, like not the person's worth. It's not if it's not urgent, delay the message 10 minutes, give it time and space, because then your needs and your system will alleviate that fight or flight, that safety, and be able to see things more clearer. That's that gym rep. That's that space.
Yeah, I really like the way you said that about a 10-minute delay. Like we
Mm.
can become overcharged in our thoughts and whatever's going on, right? So sometimes interrupting that pattern to see what the nervous system is really doing is important.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Mm,
I can't disagree with you.
yeah. And it's like you're saying, I'm allowed to feel this, and I'm also responsible for what I do with it.
Oh, that's deep.
Correct?
Whoa,
Yeah.
ouch. Who felt that one?
Yeah.
I have to own that one.
Oh, me too.
I'm
You know?
responsible. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I just think we lost every listener then, but it's the truth, right? This is the adult. This is the leader. I'm responsible, and it's the heart of emotional fitness.
Yeah.
Feel it, hold it, choose with it.
Yeah.
The big
Mhm.
one. Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so that gym rep, right? So if we give the listeners something they can do in 60 to 120 seconds, how would that benefit them?
Yes, well, I'm going to do that exact thing, and this is the one that we recommend as a daily baseline. It's a sort of a self check. It builds awareness and creates the tiny gap between feeling and reacting. This is where the space changes. This is where the practice is.
Yeah, great. And I just want to say for all the listeners that are driving right now, because you may be doing 120 things at once. So just remember not
Very
to
good,
close your eyes, especially if you're driving. Okay. This
especially
one's keep your eyes open and just listen if you're driving for this.
uh, unless you're in a Tesla, and we appreciate your environmental concerns and support. Um, okay, so the first one really is slow the breath through the nose. Well, if you've done a bit of breath work, or just when you notice that time when you were really, really sad, and then when it starts getting to the emotional suppressions out, it starts, and you start getting slower. So we want to be able to slower the breath into the nose, and this hold for the second, and then out through the mouth. I also like to add the little, when I'm breathing it in, I'm thinking of the thing, and then I'm breathing it out. I'm breathing it out and letting it go with peace, with no
Yeah.
attachment.
Nice. I like that. And you can drop your shoulders a little and unclench your jaw if you can, because sometimes you can feel
Yeah.
the tension
Yeah.
happening.
We're holding it right, Val. We're just all in us.
Yeah.
So what was we have the three breaths, and then you ask yourself the three questions. What is happening in my body right now?
Yeah. And what emotion is most present if I had to name one?
Mm. And what do I actually need?
Yeah.
Not want, but what I need.
Yeah. And that's important, not what you want from someone else either, what you
Mm,
need in you.
mm.
So comes the space, the clarity, a boundary, a repair, rest, truth. What is it you need within you?
Yeah, geez, just thinking of that.
Hmm.
That's the biggest thing to connect to. What is it we need? We know what we want.
Yeah.
And that's a rep, right? So then you choose that one tiny little action that supports that need. One message you don't send yet, and one glass of water to calm down, and that honest sentence to yourself that you accept for the first time. That one pause, one walk, or that one reset before you walk into any room. This is where the game is played.
Yeah. And that's the rep, the small, the real, and the repeatable.
Mm,
And if you did it daily, you could start catching yourself sooner, not perfectly, but just sooner, and understand what's really going on
yeah.
beneath.
And like any good gym rep, when you see the rep in the mirror and the muscle bulge, you go, geez, I'm sexy, and you keep doing it again. It's the same with emotional fitness. But it's a bit different. For me, it's every time I notice that I've noticed and I've managed, I get this what I think is joy. And for if you knew my story or my life pattern, that hasn't been much of it. But I have this feeling that I think is joy because it's about me. It's about me overcoming the stuff that
Mm.
was, as we talked about before, that automatic. Um, it's huge. It's huge. I can't wait for you all to listen and feel that. So to listen to the reflection, and we'll give you a few questions to take into your day. You can journal them or just hold them lightly.
Yeah. And the first question is, where do you notice yourself becoming reactive most often? Is it at work? Is it at home? Is it when you're parenting? Is it, your own inner talk? What is it where you notice you're becoming reactive mostly?
Yeah, that's a great one. Take your
Mm.
time with that one, guys, because that helps the other two. And the question two is, what does your result, what does your default protection look like? Like, what result are you getting from it? Do you speed up? Do you shut down? Do you get sharp, get pleasing, get controlling? What do you get? Do you get busy? What's your default?
Yeah. And that's important. And sometimes we can't recognize that.
Mm,
It takes time to be able to understand what's really going on. And yeah, right. And I see it from, well, are you in chaos or are you in clarity as well? So,
yeah,
it
yeah.
takes time. So, and remember not to give yourselves a hard time over these because, it took me a long time to actually understand where all this came from. So it doesn't happen overnight. Just saying.
Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, I've been doing
No.
this for 10 years,
Yeah.
hardcore, and I'm seeing great. I'm feeling peaceful. If you're a man out there looking for peace, it's not external, sir. It's the internal gain.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's
And I just
recap.
haven't done the
Yeah.
third question yet. The third
Oh,
question
sweet.
is,
So that's my
if you
neurodivergent.
responded from your values instead of your conditioning, what would change in one specific moment this week?
Yeah, yeah. Values.
Mm.
Do we know our values? This is not this episode seems to have so many episodes. Hey, we should do a podcast on this stuff.
I think we might be having a few come up, right?
Coming up, values. She's values and virtues and morals. She's like, oh, that's going to be a good episode.
Yes.
So where were we? We were at question three, and then yeah. So now let's recap. Right, exact three takeaways and one micro action. for our
Yeah.
listeners?
Yeah. So I guess a takeaway is emotional fitness is a trainable capacity, not a personality trait.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Like
Mm.
maybe even most people think, oh, my emotional fitness is tied to my identity and my identity is my personality and that can't change. That also may be a fallacy that we are going to explore. Quite interesting. So micro actions, like what are they? They do the 60-second self check once per day for 7 days with the breathing, right? And then checking in with our values.
Yep. And here's what you might notice. Day 1 feels obvious. Day 3, you catch yourself mid pattern. And day 7, you're not fixed, but you're more available. So more honest and less hijacked.
Less hijacked.
Mm.
Well, here's your call to action. If this has resonated to you, if you have tried not to listen to that thing that you know that is true, but you choose to like make blurry because it's worked for you up until now, but now you realize you can't because you just heard yourself doing that, then this is the call to action to find the spaces in the spaces, to do the rep, to stop, to quieten, to breathe, and to ask, what is it that I need?
Yeah. And also, if this episode landed for you, follow the show so you don't miss out what's next, and share this episode with someone who values presence over performance.
That's my tune for the year. Absolutely. And
Mm.
so the next episode, episode 2, we're going to introduce extended disc as a behavioral intelligence. It's not about labels or personalities or who you are. It's a lens for communication about conflict and connection. It's the tool that Valerie and me use with our clients, the human behavior psychoanalytic tool, we understand how we see the world, how we move through the world, and to understand how others do too, which will create more connection, more understanding, more curiosity. And as we get into, you'll understand, oh my God, I'm not fixed. I have these other energies. And you'll see them through some other stories of how we've been able to do the opposite. And you'll understand that how me and Valerie are these two different energies that don't normally get along, and we get along. It's so great.
There you
All
go.
about and how it mixes with emotional fitness so that you can lead better, have deeper relationships, could contribute more, and just be happy in your space, which I believe is the only flex that really, truly matters. Uh,
Yes. 100%. And episode 3 will be introducing the emotional fitness formula, which is a formula that was created by Joe Pane, our mentor,
oh,
and the 5 pillars: identity, life stages, values, flexibility, and perspective, with practical micro actions on
mm,
top of that.
the game changer, right?
100%.
So thank you, Joe. He leads the way, and then this is what this is also about. A lot of the people that we're going to be bringing in to talk about are going to be other emotional fitness founder and e-disc communities that are there. So that we all have our different way this has affected our lives personally and how that have affected our family, friends, and our clients. So the more we get engagement, the more we're going to do is going to keep expanding. So we are like super pumped that you've listened this far, and thank you so much to be here. I hope you're a little bit excited because we definitely are, and we have used all of our emotional fitness to turn up for you today. It's a big thing for me to do this, and Valerie, but it's all about those spaces. And I definitely did stop and breathe a few times to recalibrate. How about you, Valerie?
Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty cool and calm and collected right now.
Mm.
'Cause, yeah, I know I'm giving back to the community, and this is something that I'm passionate about. So if you're listening and you feel a bit emotional or a bit seen, let that be okay. There's no rush, just breathe. And remember, this is a gym for you. You're allowed to be where you are.
And we're glad you're here.
So just take a breath.
And we'll see you in the gym.